Good morning and welcome to the Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Till now, we have been talking about the video games and their harmful effects, how they are diverting the attention of the youth from the major focus, how they make them indolent, lazy, how they are harmful for their studies and for their intellectual growth, how they make them couch potatoes. But the latest research shows that video games have their uses. They help you enter into a state of flow, and that entry into a state of flow enables them to sharpen their focus. Not only that, it enables them to be involved in extreme focus. And this is amazing because the latest research from the psychological point of view shows that in spite of their harmful effects, they definitely have a major role to play. And some players have been able to list their in-game achievements, even their CVs. It's a real world transformed into a virtual world or vice versa. Games are a means of living out fantasy. The truth is that the same virtual world reflects our real world, as I said earlier. So there's an intermingling, and if you are capable in that, you can be capable in the real world also. That is a plea taken by the psychologists. Now, how far that is tenable is yet to be seen. But many employers today, when they look at the CVs, and somebody mentions that in my video game playing, while I was playing in engaging, stimulated scenario, I was able to enter the state of flow. Now, what is a state of flow? It is a psychological phenomena characterized by extreme focus on the task. And when you are extremely focused, you forget everything. As a matter of fact, this is a state of extreme mindfulness. Extreme focus means you are absolutely immune to all other distractions. And that generates an innate sense of joy that matches your skill level to the level of change. There's a total lack of self-consciousness. And this is the height of what one can achieve with extreme meditation or mindfulness. So we are reacting more authentically. Now in our social behavior, we act with a filtering behavior, how people will react, will they like or not. But when you're playing a game, that thing is absolutely non-consequential. So, agree that many games may not be related to the real life, but they are able to reveal the hidden characteristics of a person. If a child is able to extremely focus on games, there is a possibility that given the proper guidance, the same child can have an extreme focus on other things as well. And as it develops this habit of extreme focus, as it develops the capability of entering what the psychologists say, the state of flow, then the child is capable of unconsciously overcoming the hurdles, the impediments, and the obstructions. Now, what motivates a child? If you remember earlier, in one of my talks I had said that normally children fail when they compete with others. And the best thing is that you should compete with yourself. Here, when the child is playing the video game, he is competing with himself. Even if two players are there, basically, the child is so immersed in solving the problem, putting together the tools that he is able to explore alone, or even how one player converses with another. The attention of both the players is on the game, on what's to be done, what strategy is to be adopted. This strategization, this focusing is self-administered. Now, here's a major difference. In education, most of the focus is directed by the parents, by the teachers, by the guides, by the supervisors, by the monitors. Here it is fully self-administered. Now, if a child is capable of extreme focus, and that too self-administered, what better things can be there? The second part is that the gathered data back to the player reflects the unconscious behavior. You keep on collecting the data, how the child responded to the various situations. And then, the child's behavior can be gauged, whether it is capable of teamwork, whether it is capable of having empathy, whether he is sadistic, or whether it's human. So there is a sense of self-actualization. There is a sense of self-esteem. And also there's a sense of love and belonging. Then, the psychological needs of the child are fulfilled in the video games. So, video games can be a means to the self-actualization, growth, mindfulness, and reaching the acme, the height of life. What better could be there? So let's not condemn the video games, but let them cherish them as means to an end. And the end means exploiting the capabilities of the child. And now we know that each one of us ages, the number of the seniors is growing, the average median age is increasing, but along with the age has come significant diseases. And not only that, it has also been seen that the increased life expectancy rates are adding to the healthcare costs. But here comes something. Japanese are supposed to be living the longest. And not only living the longest, but also living healthily. Their health is among the best in the world. And the reason for that? The reason for that is primarily because they eat what the ancient samurai used to eat. The ancient samurai used to eat a product which, according to the modern research lab test, shows that has capability not only in enhancing the age, but also the quality of life. Aging inevitably comes with deteriorating physical health, weakness, resilience, sight loss, hearing loss, muscle loss, diabetes, dementia, all that. And they're not welcome. But one plant, they call it ashitaba. Ashitaba is one plant which has been helping Japanese to overcome all the problems of aging. So health span and a lifespan, which are out of sync in the modern world, are brought in sync with the help of Ashitaba. This is very hardy perennial, and it grows to the height of about 120 centimeters. It's a native of Japanese Pacific region. It has a slightly bitter taste, like bitter gourd, or Karela as the Indians call it. And legend was that it is an ideal anti-aging food. And now the universities, 3 universities, Israel, Hutch University, Grace, Australia University, and Oslo, they have identified that this has a natural compound called DMC. And it's a flavonoid 4. Till now, all the flavonoids are of one type, it has 4. And it slows down the process of deterioration of human cells, extends the life expectancy. As a matter of fact, it puts brakes on aging. And the universities looked at 180 different compounds, analyzing their anti-aging qualities. And the DMC was the strongest all-round performer in all the research all over the world. And Ashitaba has a huge part of DMC which goes beyond the usual health benefits of a diet, high in fruits and vegetables. They say it prompts a process called autophagy. It's a natural detoxification at a cellular level. So, if this plant can be grown, then you can be sure that the life expectancy, which is increasing, would not be a burden. Maybe it might be for the good. Let's see whether Ashitaba is enough for the whole world. Can it be grown in different places? That is to be seen. And then space has been used for various purposes, but mostly for astronomy. But now, Wright's lab at the UK University of Nottingham has used satellite imagery for a very human purpose. That is to identify slavery in the modern age. And they have been able to use artificial intelligence and satellite imagery to spot signs of slave labor practices. And what they have seen shows that estimated 24.9 million people today, 24.9 million are being subjected to forced labor. Naturally, this includes the bonded labor in India, the slaves in Pakistan, who are not called slaves, who are called the bonded people, the traditional family servants, and like that. But this is something which is greatly welcome. And then, armor is the biggest problem. We need body armor, all one of us. And Kevlar was the only bulletproof vest. But now MIT and Harvard have come up with a different thing. They say the lobster skin can be an ideal body armor. It is much lighter, it is much more flexible, and while Kevlar anti-bullet vests have got expiration date, they expire after some time. 5 years is the maximum limit. They are ill-fitting, they are stiff, and they put the officers at risk in the field. But lobster membranes are mostly water, but they are pliable, and there are thousands of layers of protective tissue, and it can be much tougher than the Kevlar, the present day anti-bullet or bulletproof vest. So this is the new development in the protection. And before we end, one news or one negative information. AK-47 was the favorite tool of the terrorists the world over. And now the manufacturers of AK-47 have come up with suicide drones. Again, a much welcome news by the terrorists and by the anti-socials. This was recently shown in Abu Dhabi, where the world's arms company gathered to show their latest achievement. And this drone, officially called KUB-UAV, KUB stands for Kalashnikov, UAV is unmanned armed vehicle, is a simple drone with a difference. It can fly for 30 minutes a day at the speed of 80 miles per hour. It can target at a distance of 40 miles away and can be guided to explode on target. So the user has an ability to bomb a high degree of accuracy. Till now, that possible capability was only with the US military. But now, with the development of this drone, it will be available to most of the people. And if you look at it, it is a small one, 4 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet wide, 3 feet wide, 4 feet long, capable of growing, as I said, at 80 miles per hour and hitting a target at 40 miles, manipulated by an operator who is sitting far away. So there cannot be any possibility of catching the perpetrator. Good news for the terrorists, but an alarming news for the law and order keepers and the protectors of humanity. So these are the new gems which enhance your frontiers of knowledge. And we meet next week again for the frontiers of knowledge. And in the meantime, keep on meeting every morning. Thank you.